Hello everyone, I'm Moni. Welcome back to my little cozy corner on the internet. Today I'm going to be doing something a little different. I've been so inspired lately by small, beautiful moments in life, so I went out and treated myself to a brand new sketchbook. I've been thinking about drawing again for a while, and lately it feels like almost every day something inspires my artistic heart. Art has always felt like home to me. Since I was little, I'd lose hours creating artworks from blank pages. I've always loved drawing fashion, portraits, landscapes, and skies that feel like dreams. I use many mediums, including paint, but today I'm leaning into line work and abstract details. I love a good black and white sketch. For this first page, I'm inspired by something I see every day from the balcony: a tree draped in Spanish moss, and it feels quiet and mysterious, so I'd like to capture that stillness. So, a bit about Spanish moss: it's not really moss at all. It's native to southeastern US and tropical parts of the Americas. Spanish moss is a flowering plant, unlike moss being a non flowering plant. Moss also grows through spores, while Spanish moss grows from seeds. There are quite a few folk stories about how it got its name, but if you're curious, I definitely recommend looking them up. While it's generally harmless, it can host tiny little bugs called chiggers that cause itchy bites, so it's best to not touch any Spanish moss if you can. So here I'm just getting an idea of the flow, or at least how I'm going to flow the Spanish moss. I've never drawn it before, so this is my first time attempting it also. So I'm just using my pen to do some light brush strokes, making it as flowy as possible, because if you've ever seen Spanish moss before, it can flow in the wind like nobody's even looking. So I just want to create that same aesthetic. I love how detailed I can get with just a pen. I love to use a fine tip pen, and I prefer a felt tip ultra fine pen if I can find one, because I think it's so beautiful how much ink is distributed out of them. It's just the perfect amount for sketching and line work, in my opinion. Alright, so I just finished up this first sketch here, and I like to label things also. So here I am labeling my first sketch. Alright, so right now I'm working on getting the feel of the Spanish moss and leaves with this next sketch. Just gonna be playing around with abstract shapes to warm up my creative brain. I already love how the Spanish moss came out on this second sketch. Here I am about to start creating the leaves. As you can see, I was gonna start with a different shape leaf, but then I decided to do something a little different and go on with a bubble leaf effect. So here I am filling in some leaves atop the trees to look as though the Spanish moss is growing off of those. Alright, so here I am focusing on the silhouette of the Spanish moss. Here I really want to capture the shape a little bit better. In the first sketch, I just did some groundwork, some very basic groundwork of the brush stroke intensity. And in the second sketch, I just kind of went, I let my mind, my imagination just go crazy with that second sketch where I just did the Spanish moss, I did the trees, and I just kind of, the tree leaves, and I just kind of made it look really sporadic. Here at the bottom, I wanted to actually create what this Spanish moss would look like coming off of the leaves in a more realistic way, but still this is just a sketch, just getting all my ideas out on paper before I do something a bit more realistic. Now that I've laid down a few sketches, I'm moving into something more fun. I feel confident after working on a few sketches of the Spanish moss and the leaves. I feel very comfortable going in and doing a realistic scene. So what I'll be drawing here is the full tree with the leaves and the Spanish moss. My goal for this page is to create something that holds the feeling of peace, forgiveness, and quiet confidence. For a long time, I was very shy with my art, nervous to share anything that wasn't quote unquote perfect. I didn't even enjoy sketching because it felt too unfinished, right? Because sketching is imperfect and unfinished in nature, but now I'm learning to see sketches as a gentle doorway to creativity, not something to fear. It's so easy to get caught up in how we want something to look, that we forget that beauty is often already there, just waiting to be noticed. So once I finished the first tree, I went ahead and added some more tall trees. And I also added a little bench, which I think is a really nice touch for this sketch. I think it turned out really nice. I really do like what I did here. Now I'm just filling in the trees a bit more before I start decorating the rest of the page. One of the things I love most about my art is how I combine realistic drawings with playful little doodles. I love the contrast and the joy it brings me. So here you're just gonna see me drawing in some doodly lines and um, different directions, some other little just circles and spots and things of that nature. My sketches have become sort of a natural border on this page, so I'm just letting myself have fun, drawing freely, and adding lovely little touches wherever they feel right. And this right here is my favorite part. I usually fall into a quiet focus when I'm doing dots. I don't know, it's top tier, chef's kiss. Now I'm deciding how I want to fill the rest of the page. I'm thinking of adding more detailed sketches of the Spanish moss here in this section to practice flowy and delicate lines. And then over here, I really love the idea of a word wall, like a soft little collection of nature-inspired words and phrases. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. So far for the word wall, I'm thinking about what it is that I'm seeing around me and what I'm feeling. So I'm writing down words like park, Spanish moss, trees, low country, nature. It's really hot, so hot. Sun, sticky, because I'm feeling a bit sticky out here, sweaty and sticky. And bugs, because I'm hearing like those like buggy noises, like the cricket sounds. I don't know if they're crickets in the middle of the day, but also I wrote down the word cool breeze. because the cool breeze part felt especially nice. It was short, but such a relief from the heat. Oh, and here's a little lantern or lamppost. I don't know. I tried to draw. I think it came out kind of cute. Well, more. I think it came out really cute, but you know. Now I'm back to working on this closer sketch of the moss, Spanish moss, excuse me. I'm focusing on negative space and how the lines flow. So here, just filling in that negative space before I add some more details to the Spanish moss. Spanish moss in real life is very stringy and wild, but for this sketch, I'm more interested in how the pen flows. Oh, I think I'm getting a little hungry. I should probably get some breakfast, but um, I'm more interested in how the pen flows, experimenting with lighter strokes and how they feel on the page, because I'll probably do a full moss spread later and include Spanish moss in it as like a tribute to this first page. So this is good practice. I think what makes me happiest about this page is that I didn't give up. Even when some things didn't come out the way I pictured, they still found a way to flow together, and that feels like a small and beautiful win. As I add the final details to this very first page of this brand new sketchbook, I'm just sitting back and feeling super excited for myself and what's to come in my art journey as I begin drawing again. I've never filled an entire sketchbook before, but I'd really love to finish this one cover to cover. And I can't wait to fill these lines with pages of beautiful and perfect lines. Side note, this was a super cute idea. I still wanted, I felt like the page was missing something, so I went in and started adding these little squares on the sides as more of a border, and it looks like that old film. You know what I'm saying? Like when you like take the picture and you have that film that you have to go get processed, and it has those little like lines on the side with the little squares inside. It looks so beautiful. It was a really nice touch. Thank you so much for drawing with me today and joining me on this very first page of my brand new sketchbook. I hope you enjoyed watching this as much as I enjoyed creating it. I'll talk to you all again very, very soon. With much love, Moni. Creativity takes courage. Henry Matisse.